Hello, I'm here to share with you a quick story. It's a personal experience from which I drew an analogy, or I decided to make it into an analogy because um, I felt like there were messages in the experience for me. So, this is it. Sometimes I have mouth ulcer, and it's always terrible, always terrible. So, um, just very recently, I think about a week ago or two, you see, I don't even remember now. That's because the pain is gone. So as at the time I had it, that was like a week or two ago. I i could not eat. To drink water was a problem. Like I would just keep my mouth shut, and I would just sit down quietly. I Even with the silence and quietness and all of that, I still felt the pain. So you can imagine how painful it was each time I tried or dared to talk. It was always terrible. Um but so when I stood in front of the mirror, and I attempted to just look at the sore, because the gravity of pain that I felt was beyond me. So I took a mirror, and then I took a look at the sore. Guess what? It was this tiny, insignificant, almost invisible spot, just tiny, almost as though when you use like a needle to just prick something. That was it. And in my head, like, I think it was a whole new level of revelation for me. I was like, this thing is so tiny, it's so seemingly insignificant, but look at the level of pain that it has brought me. And then that told me something. Um of course, okay, let me finish the story. So of course, you can tell from the way I'm even talking right now, you can tell that I'm all good, I'm all fine. And then that's simply because the sore is gone, like the pain is gone. So I imagine that ordinarily, if I had seen that same tiny spot, maybe on someone else, I wouldn't imagine that it would be that painful, for them or to them. So, back to now. You can tell from the way I'm speaking that I'm fine. So that made me feel, ask some questions, and then um some reality dawned in that moment. I just felt like sometimes we belittle our own significance. We belittle our contributions, our, like, if we seem to imagine ourselves as less than what we truly are, in terms of how nature has blessed us, the amount of investment that has gone into us, both nature and nurture, the blessings of the universe, and just this whole package that is you. You know how much we underestimate ourselves, undermine ourselves, all of that. And that's the reason I decided to do this video, just to let you know that in spite of whatever anybody thinks about you, please, you are valuable. There's something that you have that no other person has. There's something, no matter how seemingly insignificant, there's something that makes you you. There's something that makes me me. So I won't be stuck up to a point where I feel like, oh, I'm better than everyone else, or I can do what no one can do. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm simply talking about your point of uniqueness. I have something that makes me unique. So, in spite of whatever anyone says, I have my shortcomings, I have my weaknesses, and all of that. So do you. But I'm encouraging you today that you focus on what makes you unique, on your strength, on what gives you the edge, on what makes people want to be around you, of that thing that you do better than anyone else. So it's a place of humility, but it's also a place of pride. Pride in the blessings that nature has given to you, that the universe has given to you, but also humility to know that as you realize your point of uniqueness, other people have their points of uniqueness. There's something you bring to the table, and there's something other people also bring to the table. But then, never allow anyone make you feel less of yourself or less than you actually are. I'm not saying get stuck up or get arrogant or anything. No, I'm just saying that please remember, anytime you are tempted to um think self-limiting thoughts, to speak negative things about yourself and to yourself, to get depressed or moody because somebody has said something terrible, or somebody is undermining you, or somebody is just out to shame you, please remember that you matter. You really do matter. Like that little inconvenience, who would have thought that a lip, something happens to my lip or my inner mouth, and then it just scatters my whole day. It makes me not function. Just, you remember the story of the sore thumb? You know, when they talk about this, they will say, oh, it sticks out like a sore thumb. If your any of your fingers, if it has an issue, you would not be normal. You know, at that point, it doesn't matter anymore that the finger is just this little part of the body. No, there's no little part of the body. If you had an injury on your tongue, oh my god, you would you can, it can just scatter your entire existence. Same with your eye, same with your ear, any part of your body. You know, so that tells us that there's no useless part of the body, there's no useless part of our existence. So that same way, if you don't have to be the leader of your pack, you don't have to be the almighty, or the, you don't have to be the head of any establishment, but whatever tiny role you have been given to play, remember that your part matters. Just like that man who helps to do seemingly insignificant things in your office, in your, wherever, in your space, wherever space you find yourself, that person's role matters, because on it every other person's assignment is built. That's why we notice when the environment is dirty, because somebody does the cleaning. So the day something is wrong, you feel it, you know that something is amiss here. So nobody can tell me that the role of that person who does the cleaning is less than the role of somebody else who probably makes all the decisions. So please, as I said, it wasn't meant to be a long talk, it was meant to just be a charge. I was meant to make that an analogy because this is something that happened to me like just 2 weeks ago, and I realized that just a tiny sore on my tiny lip could, you know, just scatter my entire week. That was 2 weeks ago, and look at me today, all bubbly, all fine, simply because my lip is now fine. So that tells me my lip is not less important than my arm, for instance, or my leg. So please, you matter. Always remember that your contributions matter. So whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all of your heart, knowing that your role is important, your part is important. And yes, wishing you the very best. Go and succeed. Bye.